What's cracking, YouTubeites? Welcome to Lords of the Long Box. Happy new comic book day to you. We have a treat for you. We got a good old-fashioned Black Knight report. We got something we don't really get that much of, man. We got some DC long-term spec list for HBO Max. So let's get right to it, boys and girls. Let me drop the new DJ Curse remix.
Oh, snap.
Now let's do this. Rewind, select and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last. Jump, 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 jump.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is faithful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it. We're here. We're back.
Get stupid job.
You can't get fresher than this.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice.
Oh, how so?
I'll be too busy looking good.
Can't understand.
Yo, what is good, party people? Zach is under the weather. Otto and Nemesis Prime are exhausted from doing their comic crawl, so it's missed me and Darkside Jedi.
That's sure.
And and we're talking about DC stuff. So you know what? I got to kick it old school, and I got to bring one of the OG members of the Lords and a YouTuber, Marky 316. Say what's good to the party people.
What's up, party people? Holy crap. Yo, that's a funky ass beat, man. That was awesome.
That's right, man.
That was good.
Hopefully we won't get you too angry today to get a Marky minute. No longer sponsored by Jack Daniels. Okay.
Yes, actually by Blacken, the Metallica whiskey now. Anyway, I moved up. But anyway, I just want to give a quick shout out to Joker M21, who's right now doing an auction, and he will continue to do the auction after the show. So head on over there after this show and get some good deals. He's doing his first auction tonight, so check him out. Joker M21, everybody. Yeah, it's his first auction. Yep.
Oh, it's on his channel.
On his channel.
Okay.
Not with us, with the Warriors, but he's been looking forward to this, and he's got some people showing some fire tonight. So
I was going to say the Joker M21 is on every damn auction. It seems like we got an auction.
YouTube.
Yeah, it seems like we have an auction every day, but we got a DC long-term spec list from our man, the Black Knight, who we haven't got in a minute because I don't want to give away too many secrets, but he's kind of been affected by the shutdown of Hollywood, so he hasn't gotten access to everything that he has, but he was able to lace us up with some information. It was just a list of characters. We don't know what projects they're attached to, but we kind of connecting the dots together. We kind of have an idea of what they're for. An inkling of what they're for.
I have a dark suspicion.
That may be alluding to something. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. Thank you for joining us. Red Lodge Crow, what's up? Sith Lord holding it down with the wrench. Everybody. Victoria Pigak, Nick Arcia, what's up? Ozzy Rally, CT Kook, Sassy Pans, Roberto Reyes, Manuel Diaz, BTC Moon Guy, Lon Espinosa, Matt Forge Comics, what's cracking? Man Cave Comics, Johnny Dakota, the list goes on. Azores Tigers. Happy new comic book day to you all. It's kind of a slow week of comics this week, actually, but I did get something cool. I don't know many people know about it. There was a new Robert Kirkman title that came out today.
The free book?
Well,
and Negan.
Yeah, there's Negan, but there was the free book, and then there was this. It's called Firepower.
Right.
And it's his kind of Shang-Chi Iron Fist book from Robert Kirkman. This is the prequel. This is a prequel graphic novel. that came out today. So I'm really stoked to read that, man. So yeah, and there was a free comic book day books that came out today too as well. Did I get the gold? No, I didn't. But man, I'm really stoked to do that. But
my shops were gone. They only got one copy of one gold and one silver. That's it.
which one?
Of the Negan.
Was it one per shop or something?
Something like that, yeah. And they just went. Everybody.
I think the whole reason it was also hot is because there was literally only like 10 books that came out today. This is the week of the DC transition.
When was the last Walking Dead book to come out? It's been a long time since
the last one, whatever
series,
that
right?
was.
Yeah.
This was out on the radar. He didn't even announce. He announced this like a week or two ago, saying, "Yeah, Walking Dead." Is this a
Negan one shot or is it going to be ongoing?
I haven't read it yet, but considering how what was it 193, if I'm correct, or whatever that last issue was, how it ended, it really didn't explain. It kind of showed where Negan was, but it didn't say what he's been doing. So
yeah, I just kind of figured all that as kind of jump the ship, man. Like the show kind of jump the shark. Excuse me, not jump the ship, but But let's get right to it, man.
Yeah.
We got some DC stuff. We remember things are subject to change, but things in Hollywood are starting to loosen up now. So we're able to get these characters that have been reserved, and we know they've been reserved for HBO Max. So we can kind of put the two and two together, knowing that what the HBO is going to be announced on HBO Max, and make sure the DC fandom thing that's coming. I guess DC's version of Comic-Con. Expect to hear some stuff drop about HBO Max. That's going to be big. And I just read today on the San Diego Comic-Con virtual one, they're going to have a Hellstrom panel. So there's some stuff to look forward to virtually. So I know Marky's all about the devil. So, I'm going to get some Hellstrom. Speaking of the devil, let's get right to it, boys and girls. First up on the long-term spec list is a very interesting group. That's right. Day of Vengeance #1, the first appearance of Shadowpack. We have Shadowpack on the long-term spec, and that is a dope book. As you know, I'm a big fan of the Spectre. What do we know about Shadowpack?
What's cool about this book is that it's a team up of some magic users. So a little history of the book itself. Spectre starts killing mage users. So they form a team, Nightshade, Blue Devil, Detective Chimp, Ragman, and the Enchantress. And they go after Spectre.
Yeah,
and Detective Chimp is in the current run of Justice League Dark or the Justice League Odyssey. Which one?
I think it's the Odyssey. He's in the current run. Yeah, he's showing up here and there. Yeah, he's around.
He's an alcoholic chimp, which is kind of
it's funny.
So I've read it. I've kind of enjoyed it actually.
Yeah, no, it's a cool story, and he's a cool character. Shazam, a lot of magic users are kind of involved with this group.
Yes.
So knowing that what we know currently planned for HBO Max, we know that there's a Justice League Dark series planned for HBO Max, and we can only ascertain that Shadowpack will be part of that, because anytime we see DC is very segmented, right? It's very, the magic is basically in its own little world. Then the street level characters, you very much Batman and these characters. So, it's good that it's segmented that way. And there's, with the Marvel side, there's a ton of projects being planned. So we kind of have to really guess really, really well. But this, we know Justice League Dark, we know Green Lantern Corps, we know some Batman stuff. So
if a character uses magic, they're gonna be a part of the dark. It's just that's kind of like the unwritten rule, so to say.
I agree 100%.
Yeah,
definitely.
And this one is easy. There's some other characters on here that are a bit more obscure. So I had to pull on my DC boys over here to help me out. Like this next character.
Shit, I was happy to know that. I'm like, God, at least I know some of these characters.
Yeah, me too.
What's the first appearance of Detective Chimp, Ryan?
Rex the Wonder Adventures of Rex the Wonder Dog #4.
There you go. That's the Ryan Spec book right there.
That is the Ryan Spec book.
The Rex the dog.
The Adventures of Rex the Wonder Dog.
Who would have thunk it, man?
Yeah,
all right. So next up on the Black Knight long-term spec list for DC HBO Max is a character that I've seen around, but I don't know if they've even been around in the modern day. So first appearance of Black Orchid, Susan Linden Thorne, is Adventure Comics #428. Came out in like the early Bronze Age, late Silver Age. I mean, all I know from her is she's kind of like a female Batman, somewhat kind of. Did she ever get magic?
Well, she's more of I would say she's more of like so she's a good black or a poison ivy sort of like she's a human plant hybrid, and
so
her
that's
character.
where the Orchid part comes in.
Yep. And so, actually, Lex Luthor had her killed, and she gets this Orchid power, and she becomes kind of like a detective of sorts, crime fighter. But more recently, in the New 52, Justice League Dark #1, they did her character, and it's a little bit more modern. Yeah.
So there you go. See, this is like those things we always talk about the DC characters. Since DC's been around for so long, there's multiple iterations of their characters. So now that makes sense. Now that we know, so who knows? Maybe, I don't know, somebody can look it up, but whatever the new 52 version of Black Orchid. But if we look at the pricing on this, 9/8 average about $1,400, but you get a 9.0.
I mean, it's a Bronze Age book. I mean, it's a 20-cent issue. DC. I mean, it's a
C-rated character. Also, it's not well known.
But if anybody watched that Justice League Dark Apocalypse War,
yes, that was awesome.
The House of Mystery. When that purple character came out, John Constantine called her Orchid.
Yes.
Now I'm thinking that was an homage to Black Orchid because she was the purple dress. So maybe that's more of a modern take as well.
That makes sense. I mean, knowing that, because at first when I looked at the character, I was like, wait, street level, this doesn't really match with anything on HBO Max. But now that you're saying they reinvented her for Justice League Dark, now that kind of makes sense. But she almost looks like a Batman ripoff.
Definitely
looks
does.
very batish in their things. But that's the thing about DC is some of the characters are so old, and a lot of this happened part of New 52 or Rebirth. There was a chance we're like, hey, we need to make them more a modern version of them, maybe change the characters because it's not inaccurate to say, in the Golden Age, Silver Age, pretty much all the characters are white, so they had to be more reflective. So that's why you saw different characters maybe become.
So what they did is they revamped everybody in the New 52, and then during Rebirth they took away all that continuity. But not really.
Not really.
It's weird.
They kept some of it, but it's just like I thought they just should have left it the way they were going. I thought until Convergence came up and really
Convergence was before Rebirth.
Yes, but I'm just saying when they were in New 52, they were doing fine, and then they did the Convergence and went into Rebirth and everything. What the hell,
Agree.
So,
All right, so there you go. Black Orchid has been reserved. So next one up is even a more obscure character, but he looks pretty darn cool, man. Next
we have seen him on TV though.
Yes, he's been on the Green Arrow show. He was
Ragman.
Yes,
Ragman. So what's interesting when you look up the first appearance of Ragman, it points you to the Ragman miniseries from 1991, but there was also a Ragman in 1976. What's the difference? Do you guys know what the difference is?
I don't think they're both the same. Rory Reagan. The same character, same person, same powers, same origins. I don't know.
But what's interesting is you notice how the wiki doesn't. It just tells you look for the miniseries from 1991. It's almost like they retcon the other one. But I would say both covers look pretty cool, man. And I didn't put up any sales data because these are cheap.
Now I will say the DC wiki does mention the 1991 version as being the character that's in Shadow Pact.
Okay, there you go.
But
that's the connection of the dots.
But they're the same name. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm confused.
You know what? Go out and get both because they're both cheap, but they're part of Shadow Pact. Shadow Pact is part of Justice League Dark. Justice League Dark going to be in HBO Max. There you go. We've made the connection. We have connected the dots for you.
And you can watch the Arrow episodes. He's in the Arrow. He was on the Arrow team.
And I was born in 1976 and a freshman in high school in 1991.
There you go.
Isn't that crazy?
Mind blown. I'm quitting YouTube.
And they called me Ragman in high school.
Oh, there you go. Rags to riches story. There you go. All right. So Ragman is on the long-term spec list. Next up on the long-term spec list is somebody we already mentioned. First appearance of Nightshade is Eve Eden, Captain Atom, number 82 from 1966.
And this is a Steve Ditko book, penciled by Steve Ditko. And what a cool character. I mean, she doesn't have much information. She's kind of a ancillary character to say the least. Never really had any big impacts, but she's able to kind of I don't know, like orb powers or kind of like she's able to like kind of transport herself through
she's like she's like a transporter, like transdimensional transporter
correct
type.
Correct. She can manipulate dark powers or darkness, shadows and things like that. So
But she's definitely part of the Shadow Pack team, right?
Correct. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's cool about this book? Look at that. Look how cheap it is. I don't know if you'd ever be able to find a Captain Atom number 82 in the wild. But the last 8.0 last sold for $97. So somebody found. To find this book in 1966 in a 8.0, 9.0, but look at that raw value. You can get it for like $30, man. So
and this
there you
is
go.
Before DC got the license, also. So there you go.
There's the Charlton book, then, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So the good old Charlton, man, had a lot. Man, if you want to really look at the history of comics and see how they evolve when they are Charlton characters onto DC characters, oh man, forget about it.
Oh yeah.
Same with the Atlas and Marvel characters, but there's not nearly as many as went over. And some of the Charlton characters, is they sat on them for like decades and like, hey, let's put them in DC now.
Yep.
So we've done some lists in the past. We're like, man, which version are they going to use? But and I say that as a segue to the next characters, because this character we've actually had on long-term spec list before. So now when they come up twice, we definitely know they're coming. Next up on the long-term spec list is the Question. Now, I didn't know the names. Basically, when I got this list, I was just given the actual character. I was given the superhero names. I wasn't given their exact names. So I went.
It's a little convoluted, Tim. So the original Question is Vic Sage. He was in Blue Beetle #1. From 1967, I think was the date. That was his first appearance.
Charlton,
and then you had Renee Montoya during the 52 run, not New 52, during the 52 run, and I can't remember the book, but it's in the 52. It was the week 52.
Right.
It was her. She became Question.
Right.
So her first appearance as Question is in the 52 book, and then we have a third Question, which is the Earth Prime New 52 version.
Right.
Which was actually formed by the Seven Wizards in the Rock of Eternity as one of the 3 sins. So Pandora, Phantom Stranger, and the Question were all part of the sins that they created. And the Question was kind of an unnamed person. So it wasn't Vic, it wasn't Renee. We really didn't know. He was more of a spirit that represented a sin.
Right.
So it's convoluted.
And that New 52 Free Comic Book Day book not only has that, it also has the first official appearance of Simon Baz, who is Green Lantern and Green Lantern Zero of New 52. So that introduced another Green Lantern, and it's just and
so this is a double spec book.
Yeah,
Free
it's
Comic
also
Book Day
an
New 52
introduction
book.
to the Trinity War and all that stuff. That was a major storyline with the Justice League that they were doing at the time.
Is that a Jim Lee cover too on the New Comic Book Day book?
I believe, Jim Lee, or it is 100%.
Good luck. That's a ghost, man. I couldn't find any sales data on that either. But Free Comic Book Day, New 52 #1, 2 first appearances, man. So you got the Question, and you got Simon Baz. So that would be a great little spec book to pick up right there.
That's a quirky little spec book right there. If you see it, grab it. I don't care. Pay $2, pay $3. It's worth it.
Hell yeah, 2 characters. Nick Arce asked, where can we find a long-term spec list? Well, you can find it on this channel. I have a playlist called Long-Term Spec, but the channel got deleted last August. So I also posted a link to our SoundCloud where I was able to at least put 3 years worth of audio podcasts of the show when it was taken down. Unfortunately, the Lords of Longbox website didn't come up till last year when I realized that when my YouTube channel got deleted that I should create a website. So if you want the old stuff, go check out our podcast. I try to put every I don't know, about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years. I started uploading all the audio of our video shows. So if our channel ever got deleted again, because there are nefarious sources trying to delete this channel again, there was a YouTube article there was an article put on the website saying that what we were doing is terms of violation under YouTube. So hold on, I think I have some. I think I have something.
They're saying we're trying to inflate books for our benefit. I don't even have a friggin' eBay page.
I actually have a graphic for that guy. There you go. So
Sit and spin, buddy.
yeah, sit and spin. All right, so that was the question. Next up is one that we've talked about before, and
This is already a pricey book. This one, you're already
House of Secrets number 61, the first appearance of Eclipso.
I
Eclipso
had this
is a
book,
very cool
Tim,
character.
and I wish I never got rid of it. But
Look at that, dude.
yeah.
9.4. Last sold for $4,500. 9.2.
It's not an easy book to find. I got to tell you.
Is that the only first appearance? Is it only Eclipso's first appearance in this, or is there another one? Or is this?
As far as I know, I think it's just Eclipse. So far as I know, when I had it, that was the only character, because at that time, one reason why I picked it up, he was in a major storyline in the New 52 run, which was very interesting with the Justice League. So I said, hey, I know that character. I seen that book at this one store, and sure enough, it was still there. And I didn't pay any of those prices you seen there for it. So.
And I was reading some title, and there was a version of Eclipso in a modern run. It may have been that Justice League Dark or the Justice League Odyssey, whatever.
Yeah, probably the Odyssey.
Do you remember those? Do you remember those lenticular covers they did for Villain Week or Villains Month during the New 52?
Yes.
Eclipso he was on one of those
covers
also.
Right, because like I said, he was in a storyline at that time with the Justice League.
The current version of him, he's not even like a physical form, right? He's like trapped in something. I'm trying to remember what I read.
That I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was Odyssey or Justice League Dark, because on the DC side, I only read team books. I don't read, and I'm really digging the Justice League Dark and the Odyssey one. The Odyssey one is the Wonder Woman led book, right? Or is that the Justice League Dark team?
Right.
Yeah. So there you go. House of Secrets number 61, the first appearance of Eclipse. So you can get a 7.5 for like $425. There you go, man, which is not bad for a 12-cent Silver Age book. All right. Next up on the list is a book that Marky's really going to dig, because if you don't know,
here's our Marky Minute.
He is a big Green Lantern fan. He likes to say Green Lantern. But the next one on the book is a villain that's probably been spec before. Green Lantern, Volume 3, number 50, the first appearance of Parallax. What can you tell us about Parallax?
Parallax is basically the entity that basically conformed to Hal Jordan to go apeshit crazy and consume that he wants power and run the universe. Basically, that version of Parallax, that's how I like him as Parallax, because it's Hal Jordan. What happened was when he really got his real name and everything like that is when he came back in the first rebirth, the official rebirth from Jeff Johns. And basically the story was he was an entity of fear, and Hal Jordan was not feeling confident about himself, and then fear took over when his city got destroyed by Mongol. So it was just, and that just turned him into that, and they just find out, hey, that's an entity. Let me get him out of here, and everything like that. So they did some hocus pocus stuff, got the entity out of Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan, hey, that wasn't me, that was him. And Batman's like, nah, that was you, dude. We got a problem still with you. I don't trust you yet. Oh yeah, this was a great run, but Parallax, I got to tell you, well, we already know where this one's going. This is going to the Green Lantern show, and I hope they do it exactly what they did in the book, because if they bring that yellow cloud,
the Galactus version of it's almost like Green Lantern saw the Fantastic Four movie and was like, hey, let's do that.
Now, this might also be a double spec, because I'm reading here in the DC Wiki that this is the first appearance of Kyle Rayner as a Green Lantern.
Yes, he's on the last page. He's in the classic Hal Jordan Green Lantern suit. I actually had a trivia question on this last night to give a giveaway on the NY Warriors auction that we did last night. And basically I said, what suit did Kyle Rayner have on when he turned into the Green Lantern? And
Lon Espinosa called it actually in the live chat. He says, doesn't Kyle Rayner get a new costume in that book? So shout out to Lon Espinosa. Points. You get him
no prize.
Yeah. So DC, no prize.
So this is a very cool character. If they do the incorporation with Hal Jordan, which I don't think they're going to, but because you don't want to turn them off bad right off the bat. You want everybody to like them first before they start screwing them up and everything.
So a weird alien cloud isn't the way to do it.
No. You can explain Parallax as the entity of fear. You can explain that. But Just don't do the,
So it
the yellow cloud monster.
possesses it
Don't do the yellow
possesses
cloud monster.
it
Please.
possesses people or things. Then basically,
Yeah, it possesses your mind. It can corrupt your inner. You see Hal Jordan, how he's got the white on the sides and all that. That's him fighting and everything of that, because he was changing. His attitude was changing. He was like at this time, it's like, I don't give a damn. I just lost my whole city. I lost my friends, and I go to the Guardians and say I want to take care of it, and they tell me no. I'm doing my own thing. I'm taking your planet. I'm taking all the damn power rings. I'm going to kill Sinestro. I'm going to take everything, and I'm going to run this whole universe. And then I will change it to the, he was trying to change everything back the way it was. And that's where you get all Zero Hour and all this other stuff in the 90s. And he was the main focus and all that. And especially the one cool page of Zero Hour is when Hal Jordan Parallax knocked out Superman with one punch.
So what's interesting is this is one of the Green Lantern movie used obviously the version of Parallax, and I always thought it was an older character, but it's like
90s,
like 90s, like
90s character.
right there. Like I never even looked at this book and hey, I need to get this because it's Parallax.
Yeah, that what you're looking at, that they were calling him Parallax. At this point, they weren't calling him Hal Jordan. They were calling him Parallax. He changed it and said, I am Parallax.
And what we know about the Green Lantern Corps show is that, and I'll take this off the screen there. Anyway, you can get a 9.8 for like $75, man. It's cheapest book. This book
and it glows in the dark too.
Well, there you go. As every Green Lantern book should go in. But what we know about the Green Lantern Corps show so far, and which we talked about like months and months ago, that it's going to be big budgeted, like a lot of like what the Disney Plus stuff, like they're talking like, almost movie budgets for these kind of long mini series. I want to say, I don't know if it's going to be a max series, but they're talking like $100 million to do the entire series, which is like can be $10 million an episode, which is almost Game of Thrones type money. When when the Game of Thrones started, it didn't have quite the budgets, but now that, because you can't do that on the CW because they're using advertising dollars, right? But subscriber money, I mean, when they announced the Snyder Cut, a bunch of people signed up for HBO Max. I signed up to HBO Max just simply because they have a huge library of
and
films.
Then they took away all the DC shit.
I wasn't even watching the DC films. I was watching like Godzilla.
Right. No, they got a ton of great stuff.
They got like a lot of old Criterion stuff, Akira Kurosawa. Yep. I mean, they got a lot of great
just the Bugs Bunny cartoons are cool.
Oh yeah, the Looney Tunes stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But they during launch they were missing that one thing like the Mandalorian was for Disney Plus, where they could say, hey, and then they finally said, and people were like, what were you guys waiting for? Why didn't you say the Snyder Cut was coming? So I'm really looking forward to see what they do with the Green Lantern with a big budget. You know what I mean?
Me too.
Because on there, and they can really expand on the cosmic side, and
they don't have to rush it. They don't have to rush it. They can talk about it. They can go to piece by piece. Unlike the movie, you're trying to cram everything.
You can't do that.
You can't do that with that film. You never could do that with that film. And I always said it has to be a 3-part film. When that film came out, I said this is going to be a 3-part. Kind of an introduction, Sinestro turning bad, him fighting him, and then where they go from that, probably Sinestro Corps War. And then what would they do in that teasing at the end of the film? The Sinestro Corps War. So they screwed everything up. They crammed everything up. They made Parallax a giant yellow friggin' cloud monster. And, this.
There we go. There's your marking minute right there.
You can start from the beginning. You can explain everything. You don't have to rush it. And you can tell a nice... how many episodes? 12, 19, whatever you want to do for the first season.
They're going to do like 8 or 10, I believe, is what.
All right, so an 8 or 10 hour Green Lantern.
HBO probably usually 10. Usually they seem to do about 10, I think.
You can explain a lot to get everybody interested and involved with the characters, especially Hal Jordan, Jon Stewart, hopefully Guy Gardner. I don't know if they're going to put Kyle in.
I mean, that's 10 hours. That's 10 hours of.
Right.
There's also a crazy rumor that's going around that that Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool is going to be in the Snyder Cut, which is
I got to tell you something about that. Because when that film was getting done, and at the time, I think he was doing the Deadpool or something like that, there was like some photo. I wish I had it. And it had a picture of him and Gal Gadot and all that stuff. And everybody was like, is he in the goddamn film? It could have been just a random shot wherever the Hollywood elites go and whatever.
Ryan Reynolds, he's always trolling. Like
I don't think so. It would be interesting. That would be funny if he's actually in there for a cameo.
They would have to splice it in though, because I don't think he was even in any part of the Justice League Snyder Cut at all. And there's another rumor we want to debunk. And I got this from a man, Mikey Sutton, and some wild YouTube website or whatever, saying that Christian Bale will be returning as Batman if Michael Keaton turns down the role going on for Batman Beyond. That's ridiculous. That's but anyway, I wanted to debunk that. There's no rumor of Christian Bale coming back as Batman.
Why would they do that? Look at this hype for Michael Keaton. It's
nostalgia. That Batman, the movie adaptation comic is starting to get heat up. Remember that book that came out? That book is picking up now.
This fits Tim because you got an older Michael Keaton, and he's still got the chops. You know, he still can put on a suit. Yep. He can still do it, and this works. If this goes all the way they said they're going to go, my God, Batman Beyond, older Batman, Terry
and
McGinnis,
a young Batman. Yep. It's a good way to segue, have Michael Keaton as, if you don't know the Batman Beyond, there's a younger version of Batman, and then there's the older version of Batman, and that's Michael Keaton now is perfectly aged to be the mentor Batman Beyond for the young, what is his name? Help me out. The Batman Beyond name is
Terry McGinnis.
Terry McGinnis. What's his first appearance again? I'm trying to remember if I had that. I was just looking at it right here, and
Batman
I had
Beyond #1.
Here, help me out with this book.
I think it's Batman Superman or Superman Batman Annual #1.
Oh, right.
Or something like that, or
you know what?
#2.
He has been harping on that Batman Beyond #1 book and everything else with Batman Beyond since day one I met him. And if you check out the NY Warriors YouTube channel, you can see a lot of my brother Biggie's comics talking about Batman Beyond and everything like that.
I have this. And I got this a while ago, and Marky, you can help me out, or anybody in the live chat can help me. I'm trying to figure out what this is and when I looked into it, I think it's a different version of Batman Beyond. Let me go full screen, and it's this one. Do you remember this one? This Future's End book?
Yeah.
Is this Tim Drake as Batman
Tim
Beyond?
Drake, yes.
Yeah. So just in case, man, anybody want to buy these?
First appearance of Tim Drake.
Still, but anything with Batman Beyond, you don't know. I mean, like you said, you don't know where they're going to go with some characters and all that. We all know it's going to be Terry McGinnis because he's the most recognizable one out of it. You know?
So this is Tim Drake as Batman Beyond, because I remember when this came out, I went and got 3 issues of it because it was like, hey, Tim Drake is Batman Beyond, and then I was, we always get suckered in. But if you get it for cover price, it's not so bad, right?
It's never bad at cover price.
Tim, all these books that we figured that we got for cover price are found in the dollar bin, and next thing you know, boom. Look at Miles Morales Spider-Man books.
I don't know if it's a culmination of quarantine, or is it a culmination of we're probably guilty of it too, being one of the sources that kind of perpetuates this and tells people, we just give you the information and you run with it. But I think now, with quarantine, there's so much people are at home. Maybe more people are going, like, as soon as they hear something, boom, they immediately jump on eBay and they get whatever, right? You don't need to go into comic shops now. And you know what I'm saying? Everything is like, the world is like interconnected like ever before. You don't need to actually physically go into the comic shop anymore. You can just buy whatever off of whatever website. So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the stock market, not to get too nerdy, but all the delivery services, Zoom services, web chatting services, all these at-home services are spiking up.
And just think about the lack of con season we had this season or this year, right? All the major cons where we would have went to get, NYWers do it at New York City Comic Con. I do it at WonderCon. You get a stack of books and you go and you get all your signatures done, facilitated, and sent off to CDC. And we didn't have that this year. So what was weird is, now CDC is doing these private signings. Remember, the biggest signing of the year was Todd McFarlane. He signed like supposedly 10,000 books, and then Spawn #1s flooded the market, which kind of affected the way things were sold. Now it's like Miles Morales, and then you got the all the Donny Cates stuff. I mean, I think Thoreau said it good in his video earlier. He said he's all venomed out. I think I have Venom exhaust because I don't have Miles exhaustion yet, because Venom exhaust has been going on for like months now, and we always say, hate him or love him, Donny Cates is a great salesman of his books. That's the difference. That's the difference between these new school cats and the old school cats. The new school cats,
they're social media savvy.
They know how collectors think. They go, hey man, just saying, there's going to be a new first appearance coming out.
He's also a metal dude, so you can't go wrong with that.
Donny Cates is?
Yeah, he likes the metal shit.
I'm pretty sure he's a Coldplay fan, but anyway, that's
but Tim, you bring up a good thing about with no cons and everything, and CGC is doing the signings with the artists, but also CBCS is doing it too. They're all doing it because what else? How else are you going to be able to get your books that you've been thinking on getting signed? This is a smart move by both companies to do this. So because we're kind of like stuck here,
Yeah. I mean, it's hurt some, like our friends KRS Comics. I mean, it hurts their bottom line because, they were big on, going to shows and having artists at their booths and selling comics and variants and stuff.
Making exclusives for the show and everything,
The people who succeed during times like this are people who can go with the, they can adapt with the times. And unfortunately, there's some, you just can't. If you're a bar,
nothing
you can't sell liquor to go. I mean, people are going, that's what liquor stores are for. But I don't know, other places like, we could do delivery, things of that nature. And comic books, you kind of seen what comic shops were able to adapt and sell online via this, that, the other, keep, curbside. I mean, unfortunately, California, we went backwards. Starting today, everything got shut down because we loosened things up a little bit and then we had spike full of cases. So starting today, bars, restaurants, gyms, boom, nobody inside.
Movie theaters also, Tim.
That really kills me. I was really, that's why it's like, peeps, let's just buckle down for like a month or two so we can get things back. I mean, what's interesting? I saw a box office report. An animated movie from like 2 years ago won the #1 box office at $280,000. Look it up. There's like 450 theaters throughout the country and was shown. So they're still showing some films. I know there's some drive-ins that are showing old films. Avengers, the first Avengers with Joss Whedon was also on that list. We're not going to talk about all that stuff. That's ridiculous.
But it's interesting you mentioned the theaters and all that because what they're doing is they're getting ready for Tenet to come out. That's I think that's going to be a hit and miss. They might lose a buck or two on that.
That needs to be seen in IMAX. That can't be shown a digital release. Mulan got pushed back too. So
that's
movie
is that? Tenet? Is that the one?
That's
Christopher Nolan.
Okay, epic film that he's filmed in the
IMAX
or
whatever.
Cameras. Yeah, something to that.
They're like time cops or something there, where everybody else moves backwards and they move forward. It's some Christopher Nolan.
Have all that visual stuff and all those mind screwness storylines, and not only that, you've seen all those like movies from 2 years. They're putting back older films in the theaters. Like I just read, they're putting Indiana Jones. I mean, the first Raiders of the Lost Ark in IMAX. Yep. They remastered it in IMAX a while.
I'm starting to think, when are we gonna start living like Ready Player One style? You know what I mean? Just all go into VR and just live our lives. Don't leave the house.
Yeah,
dude, all I gotta say is be safe out there, people. Because
Tenet can't be seen at home. Man. You gotta. You gotta see it in a big screen. And plus, we're to blame because there's too much.
If you put on a VR helmet, it simulates a big screen. It's pretty sweet.
That's the thing. If you release it digitally, it's easily pirated, and half the population is not going to pay for it. They're going to pirate it.
It's not going to happen. That's why they keep on pushing back. They're pushing back all their big blockbusters because they know if we release this in digital, we're losing. We're going to lose money. We want people to see this in the theaters.
They're still releasing. There's some films they're releasing straight to obviously not like big budgeted films where they have a lot of money into the marketing of things. So Tenet, right? As I saw a trailer last night, August 21st, I think was now the new date. So we shall see. I don't know, Florida, Texas, and California right now are all fucked, man. I mean, Texas and Florida are worse off than we are, but I mean, the big test will be after July 4th because if people just get buck wild, they're already saying the amount of fireworks going off is up 600%.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no fireworks show, so everybody's going to be lighting.
Everybody's going to be blowing up their blocks, man. You're going to watch out, people. You're going to have explosions and watermelon and fruit blowing it up all over.
California might catch on fire.
Oh no! Yeah, LA County got 600 more firefighters to be on alert for that because they're every year something catches on fire because people are stupid.
It's going to be a mortar party.
in Southern California, most of the counties fireworks are illegal, and if they are legal, it's safe and sane where you just have a little fountain that shoots up like 5 feet. But man, you go to LA, on July 4th. Oh, there are full-blown goddamn fireworks shows in people's neighborhoods, man. Roman candle. Man, it is crazy. Like, you know, it doesn't take far to drive to Bakersfield or Nevada or down to Mexico and just get like the crazy shit that they use in professional fireworks shows. Yo, like
straight up mortars.
And people don't understand is people's dogs are really freaked out by it. Their ears are. I have to
freaked out. Yeah. In Queens, in New York, back in the day when I was growing up and everything, we used to call it the war zone. It literally was
exactly,
a war zone.
dude.
We had rockets being shot at us. There was blown up fruit, watermelon. Someone took 4 M80s, took the biggest watermelon, put it on one of the major streets, and freaking covered like 6 cars. This is how crazy it got. That was then. That doesn't happen now.
To this day, my favorite video for fireworks is that Terry video. That shit makes me laugh every single time. Come on, Terry.
I was Alpha I was in like 8th grade. We used to get M80s, and if you know what an M80 is, it's a giant.
Oh yeah.
And the fuse is in the middle. So what we did is we already smoking cigarettes in the 8th grade. So we'd light up a cigarette. We put the fuse through the middle of it. And then we put the M80 inside a brown paper bag and would leave it in the middle of the street. So as the cigarette burned down, we could walk away and we just watch it for like a good 5 minutes. And then we just look at it just like, boom. We're like, oh shit. Yeah. So there you go, kids, boys and girls, learn how to put a delayed fuse on an M80.
Please do not do what we did. It is unsafe. You might.
Yeah, it is. And especially now. I mean, we're in drought already. So don't blow up your fingers.
Don't blow up your fingers. We're in Schitt's Creek as it
Celebrate.
is. There's no hospital you want to go to right
safely, now. Boys and girls. Safely.
All right, boys and girls. Thank you for joining us. So thank you, Marky6316, for joining us. It was a blast, just like back in the day. Any announcements you want to say before you leave us?
Oh no, it was cool. I liked when you hit me up. I said, oh yeah, I'll be on and all that. And great to see you again, Ryan. It's been a long time,
forever. Yeah. Good to see you. You look great.
Thank you.
Is your roof finished yet?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
New roof. Oh yeah, it's been a while. New roof, gutters and everything. And
speaking of which, let me bring in Marty for Comic Book Fanatics. Just kidding. I think Marty is retired.
Oh my God, yeah. Again, like I said, my fellow NY Warrior Joker M21 right now is having an auction right now. He's got some fire going on. It's got
there you go. The link is now in the live chat. Go support.
And check him out. First auction on his channel.
Nice. Let me see how well he's doing. Oh, he's doing terrible. He's only got 155 people watching.
Oh, only 155? All right.
You can share your screen.
He's doing pretty well.
Share your screen and show him.
No, I already I put it in the live chats. Go support our friend Joker M21, part of NY Warriors. Marky, you can catch him on every Monday or Tuesdays on the NY Warriors. Tuesdays, right after us, actually, when we go on Tuesdays. So they do an auction every Monday and a show every 2 weeks, right?
We do a Monday show every 2 weeks and then an auction every Tuesday.
All right, boys and girls. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy that DC Long-Term Spec List. I will be back tomorrow for a Letters of the Long Box, which is pretty fun, where me and Mikey answer all your viewer mailbag questions. Until next time, boys and girls, I will see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. July 4th. I have a huge Mikey Sutton scoop that you're going to really, really like. And guess what? That Miles Morales book ain't going nowhere because we're going to drop some more stuff that you may want to pay attention to. July 4th, you ain't got nowhere to go. I mean, there's no fireworks shows. I mean, you'll be at home, so peep it out. I'll be dropping it at noon on July 4th. But tomorrow, I'll have to do Letters from the Long Box. Until then, enjoy the original Lord's theme song.
Shake and bake and pull it back. Oh my God.
Hold on and get some, boys.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 3 greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard.
Laugh it up, fuzzball. In this, you shall know that the Lord is
Shake and bake and pull it back.
in this. You shall know that the Lord is in this. You shall know that the Lord is
Go on and get some, boys.
Jack, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
in this. You shall know that the Lord is